Hello, folks. Welcome to the official first episode of Plucking Petals with James and Kyle. I am Kyle.
I'm James.
Welcome. We have done, 2 episodes of this already?
We did an alpha and a beta.
Alpha and a beta. And we felt that we just wanted to get used to the format and used to the idea of talking. I mean, we talk all the time, obviously, but we wanted to do it in front of microphones, and maybe later we will release them at some point, but for now...
GarageBand is a lot harder to use than you would think, too,
Yes,
because it puts a reverb for some reason on the female voice.
So it makes us sound like we're in a huge echoed room at all times, which gets really old after 5 seconds. So yeah, we'll probably have to release that later if this continues in that portion. Yeah, James, how about you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
I'm James. Most people in your friend group call me Baby Aspirin.
This is true.
Because there's
My
already
parents
a James.
call you that too.
Yeah. On freaking Bethany's wedding seating chart, I was Baby Aspirin McConnell. So I got that going on.
It's pretty great.
It is pretty great. So I had this idea for this podcast because, everything kind of comes with a grain of salt. I have things I always love, but I kind of always have criticisms about them. And so the point of this podcast is to just kind of bring in 2 things that are related, something we really like and something we really don't like. And just kind of, and the name Plucking Petals is because she loves me not. So we've got our 2 sides to our whatever issue we decide to bring in.
Exactly.
And so, that's what we're here to do today.
And I guess besides your name, tell us, something else about yourself. It's not like the first day of college. Hello, my name is James. I like pizza. Please don't do
What's your favorite
projects.
Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to, tell our audience a little bit more about ourselves.
Yeah, I just got a master's degree in microbiology from Cleveland State.
Okay.
Currently, I'm working part-time at Platform Beer Company on West 41st in Cleveland, Ohio.
Fantastic.
I'm hoping they hire me full-time. In the meantime, I've applied to several other breweries for some sort of full-time opening.
Yes.
I really like beer. I want to make it for a living.
Yeah.
Or at least be involved in the making
you
of
make
it for a
good
living.
beer. I enjoy your beer. It's fun.
Uh-huh. So what about you, Kyle?
My name is Kyle, or in our friend circle, I am Kryle, as Bethany's wedding invitation did say. I have
no respect for us. She has no respect
really,
for us.
We're people too, but yet, and as we noticed in the rest of it, everyone else had normal names except for us two.
We're just little puppets. We're like little freaking mantelpieces for her. Like, yes, these are friends that I show off. Look at my good friends.
That's right. And she laughs, and then I laugh, and then I secretly cry in the corner. But I have a bachelor's degree in mass media. I do some writing on the side, some freelance writing for American Greetings, and I work at a factory because I have a degree in mass media. So clearly I'm not using it to its potential.
Yes, but don't feel bad. No one's using their degree to their potential.
This is true. And I'm making pretty decent money not using my degree. So I'm rather happy with myself right now. And, on the side as well, I do YouTube videos. So I like to get drunk and play video games. I make rap music as under the name Mayor Wertz.
Yeah. You have a Twitch stream?
And a Twitch stream that we have to start up because I have really bad internet at the place that I'm staying at. But as I just told you before we recorded, I'm going to a new place at the end of July. And we are getting really good internet, so I can start streaming again. So we can play Hearthstone together, and people can yell at us. So I'm very excited.
Elite Dangerous the other day when I didn't have to work.
Yes.
And I was streaming it the whole time, and I got a follower. It was like,
did you?
Someone,
How does that feel?
Space guy. I'm like, oh my god, I'm internet famous.
Does he talk to you?
No, he didn't say anything.
He just watches?
I guess. I have 2 monitors, so I did have the chat window open in the other monitor just in case, because sometimes my friend come in and just yell at me. Yeah. No, I didn't say anything. Just got to follow.
Well, you know what? We're going to start, as this podcast starts, the Twitch stream is going to start. We're just going to be a multimedia conglomerate. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
Now, before we get into our likes and dislikes, we have some pretty good news. James, would you do the honors?
The Cleveland Brew Shop held an Iron Brewer competition where it's Iron Chef rules. They gave us a bunch of random ingredients you just draw it from a bag, and then you have to make a beer with this ingredient. Kyle and I drew heather tips, which is something I have never heard of, and after making a beer with it, I still don't know what it is.
We know every time I mention this contest, when I say heather tips, it's never, oh, I've heard of that. I
Yeah.
grow those in my garden. It's more like, what is that? What do you do with that? And quite honestly, I still don't know what we
It's
did
got
with
a
those
floral
half the
taste.
time.
It's a little bit of a bittering agent, so we
Yes.
just used a shit ton of them in lieu of hops.
Yes.
And we actually won the most creative beer because we didn't use hops at all in our beer. And so one thing that also happened was, well, Heather tips just come in this bag that's not sterilized at all. And we wanted to put some in at the end toward our boil, just for aroma right at the end of the boil.
Correct.
So there's no way it's going to kill everything in there. On top of that, we're not using hops. And hops actually not only give beer that bitter taste, but are an antimicrobial agent.
Okay.
So the odds of something growing in our beer were 100%. And
Yeah.
so that happened.
It happens.
There was some pellicle at the top of our beer. So it was spontaneously fermented.
That's
which
right.
was one of those things where it's not a lie. It's absolutely true. But
Yeah.
we did that afterwards. We decided that's what happened. So this is our label. And so we got
And
props for
hey,
that.
according to I just looked at all of our reviews of our beer, and we did pretty well across the board. We got 80s, around 80s. So B's
we
get,
are like B students.
yeah, I was gonna say
so
B's
come
get
on.
degrees, so
Yeah.
do C's and D. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, we got most creative beer. Our name was because of Heather Tips, and because we're so freaking funny at all times, is that we called it "Come on, Heather, just the tip" with a question mark at the end. We won most creative beer, so taste wise we won that, but we did not win most creative name. Do you remember what the name was that won?
It was something like Not Your Mama's Zima.
Yes,
Which is a knockoff of Not Your Father's root beer. And who the
Yes.
hell remembers Zima? Like,
I remember Zima because it's a funny joke. It's
Yeah.
like less than a wine cooler. It's awful.
apparently they kind of cheated, though.
How so?
They didn't win in flavor, but apparently the brewer's wife works for, God, they make those mac and cheese packets. They have the Nestle.
Kraft.
No, well, it's Nestle and something in that building in Solon.
Oh yeah. That's the street that I work on. I
Oh.
pass it every single day.
Yeah.
it's great.
It's got an S name, right? Stouffer's? Is it?
yeah,
Stouffer's?
Stouffer's. Yeah. Nestle Stouffer's.
She works there, and so she took flavoring of like Fruit Loops cereal. So they got Fruit Loops, but then it didn't really taste like that. So
Yeah.
they added freaking artificial flavor.
Oh well, that's
They didn't win anyway, so I don't really care.
that's fine. No, but
Yeah.
they won best name.
Which they should know.
And I'm sorry, but come on, Heather, just the tip is clearly a better name. But we've come to the conclusion that
They got printed in the paper, and
Yes.
they probably don't want to have that. Although the guy that won had made a coconut porter that I really want to try.
Yeah.
But his name was like Smoking Your Nuts or something.
exactly, which is also I don't know if that's just because we weren't there when it happened. There were some scheduling conflicts, and we couldn't be there anymore that evening when they were doing the raffle, and I believe the drawing. And I feel like the people at the newspaper were probably getting names, and they didn't, because they're really crappy journalists. Clearly, they did not ask who made this beer, because it literally says also one brewer made a beer with Heather Tips in lieu of hops, which there was two of us. Clearly, you can hear
Yeah.
two of us. And they didn't even get our names, but everyone else had their names and also their beer names. Granted, ours is inappropriate, but
So no beer name makes sense. But
Yeah.
all right, we didn't show up to the like awards ceremony because
'cause we're too
it was supposed to
cool.
be at 6, and I never used my damn Facebook.
Yeah.
So they didn't even send out a message to those people. They're just like, oh, it's at 9 now.
yeah, they posted it on Facebook. I did not like their page on Facebook, therefore I did not see
Yeah.
that as well. So we showed up at 6, and like everything's dark, and you just see like a couple people drinking beer, and we're all afraid, and it looks like a cult. And
It did look like a cult.
So we just ended up going to get barbecue, which was delicious.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying
you
to go
know.
there again tonight.
Ooh, okay. Well, and wish I could talk today in a podcast.
Yeah.
You can't see me right now. I'm doing video work with my hands in an audio podcast.
It's like he's Italian. Bibbity
a
bobbity.
bibbity bobbity. That's a spicy meatball. So let's just get right down to it. What are you digging this week, James?
All right, so I'm starting on kind of a negative note. Did you
Okay.
know that only 10% of the Earth's surface is actually usable farmland?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. It sounds like a PSA already.
Yeah, I know.
I'm excited.
About 1 billion people live on less than $1 a day, and they use half of this income on food.
Well, yeah. One must eat.
So 854 million people on this planet are hungry.
Okay.
And 25,000 die a day from hunger. This is in 2012. I don't know how much has changed in the last 3 years.
Probably more.
On top of this, the land to grow food is the land that you can grow food on is shrinking.
Okay.
As well as some of it is being used for biofuels because there's a lot more interest in that. So even though you're growing the food, it's not being eaten. So what I like to cure this problem is C4 rice.
Okay. Is that like explosive rice?
No.
Oh.
That would be way cooler, though.
Is that like pre-workout rice?
Yes.
That's all the jokes I got. I'm going to keep going. I'm done.
So, it is a little nerdy bit. Do you remember photosynthesis? Billy Madison, chloroform? More like chloroform. 95% of all plants in the world use this process of photosynthesis. It's nicknamed C3.
Okay.
It's really inefficient. And what happens is there's this enzyme. I'm going to mess the name up, but it's nicknamed Rubisco. Okay. And so it's what you
like
use.
Nabisco.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's what you use light plus whatever to make energy.
Okay.
So in 95% of these plants that have this C3 method, 1 out of 4 times, instead of reacting with the carbon dioxide and making lots of energy, it will react with an oxygen.
Okay.
And not make crap. Like, it'll make a little, but it's really inefficient.
Okay.
So this means that 95% of these plants have to do it a lot more, and then they have to keep their, what are they called, stoma open to let the air in more, longer, meaning more water evaporates out of them. So it's just an inefficient way to make food.
All right.
Rice is a C3 plant. So one plant, and why it's so popular everywhere, that's C4 is corn. And so it has compartmentalized cell types. So when the carbon dioxide comes in, it grabs it, moves it to another cell type. And so it's only CO2 interacting with, Rubisco. So it never basically dry fires. So if you can make C4 rice, you can make 50% more rice with less water on the same amount of land. So it'd be
why
beautiful.
Aren't we doing that?
Yeah, I will get to that in my dislike.
Okay.
But I'm just going to explain how cool
much
this
you
is.
like rice and how fast.
Yeah. So it'd be amazing if, and there's lots of labs working on this to make C4 rice.
Okay.
And so we can actually really feed a lot more people by just modifying this plant, need a couple of things. And even though it's only 5% of plants that have the C4 pathway, there's enough to think that it's evolved separately. So it's kind of natural enough that, not one plant had it and then all plants that have it are then ancestor. What's the opposite of an ancestor? I'm blanking on that right now.
The opposite of an ancestor?
Yeah, the younger ring. The
cousin?
offspring, but way further
cousin.
down.
Yeah, I don't know genealogy at all.
So we just need to basically make rice C4 plant, and world hunger would be not gone, but way smaller, way less of a problem.
Do you think people would grow tired of eating only rice? Can we do this for more than one kind of plant, or
you could, but rice is the big one. Lots of people eat rice. It's the big diet.
Isn't it component. Super easy to do that then, as opposed to a different kind of food item? I don't know.
I just think it's the popularity of rice.
Okay.
And then kind of how easy it is to grow relative to other
farm
when
was
crops.
The last time that you had rice?
Tuesday. Today is a Wednesday.
Meal?
So that was yesterday.
I had to think about that. I'm like, okay, he said Tuesday. I forget when we're recording this.
So I got this Campbell's sauce packet to put in my slow cooker on some, beef shoulder or whatever.
Okay.
It sucked.
Why?
It just was way too salty, no flavor.
Okay.
So I would not recommend Campbell's Korean barbecue sauce packets.
Okay.
But I had that on rice. Yeah,
Sorry.
Don't get that.
Yeah, no, I just... I try to make my own rub, and by my own rub, I mean I just throw a couple things in there and hope for the best and hope that happens.
Well, this is just a random try. I'm trying to break outside my food comfort zone, but I always fall back into dry rubbing and turning everything into pulled pork or
But pulled
beef
pork
stew.
is amazing.
It is
though.
so amazing.
You can put it on salads and sandwiches and burgers
in your mouth,
in my mouth,
nothing. You don't need
on my
anything.
body.
Yeah.
You can put it on everything. Pulled pork is amazing.
I just bought 4 pounds of pork butt at the West Side Market today, making pulled pork tomorrow.
Ooh,
I'm excited.
Should put some Dr. Pepper in there. I like Dr. Pepper a lot when it comes to pulled pork. I don't know why it works so well.
Yeah.
I recommend it. But this isn't a cooking show because that's all I know about cooking anyways. So it'll be a very short podcast. I guess I'll go into my and that is the phrase cutting the cord. Do you have cable?
No.
Okay. My parents have cable.
Yeah, so do mine.
Why? Nowadays, it just seems like such a waste. Besides the fact that
I like using their HBO Go password.
This is true.
That being said,
which I use my parents' HBO Go's password as well.
Game of Thrones ended this Sunday or last Sunday.
Yeah.
And John Oliver puts most of his stuff on YouTube for free, so
this
I
is
don't
true.
really care
and
about
True
it.
Detective started last
I've
week.
heard that that's good. I didn't see the first season. But,
Okay. Well, it's still they're like American Horror Story.
Yeah.
So I'm almost done with the first episode actually. And it's,
you stopped watching in the middle of an episode?
Well, my problem is that
Are you some kind of monster?
I am, but I have to watch it at work, and I don't get a full hour break to watch True Detective, which I feel like that's not a good show to start and stop because you have to pay attention so much. But I don't know. You kind of deal. I read IMDb afterwards. It doesn't really matter. But the point that I'm trying to make is that cable is dead. It's clearly dead. It's dying. Everything is going onto YouTube and Hulu and HBO Go. Amazon even has their own streaming service now.
You know what a big problem with cable is just the amount of commercials. I don't mind ads. I understand their necessity. They allow me to have not necessarily free things because you pay for cable. But, I mean, crap. I went to my parents, sat down, and we were watching TV, and you have 3.5 minutes of commercials and then 3 minutes of show. And it's just, you can't even concentrate on what the hell you're watching.
Exactly.
One of the Harry Potter movies was on, and it lasts 7 hours. I don't know how long those things are normally, but I don't think they're 7 hours long.
They're at least 4.5.
They're not longer than Das Boot, which is that German submarine movie.
I like Das Boot.
Awesome.
There's nothing
Did
wrong
you see
with
the
Das
long
Boot.
Das Boot? Did you watch all 5 hours?
No, I didn't. Clearly.
It's like 3.5 hours before there's the first action scene in the real version of Das Boot.
Oh no! Why would you want to watch that?
It's really good.
Is it worth it though?
I think so. You have to do it to say you did it, man.
Fine, I'll work on Das Boot next 6 months.
I'm not gonna watch it again though.
So I was just going through USA Today Money because they did an article because I was Googling articles before. About 3 hours
Were you just Googling the word articles?
Yeah,
what are articles?
What are articles? And it came up with a bunch of weird stuff. And then it took me a long time to figure out stuff about cable. But I was kind of going through this article, and they're saying that 7.6 million U.S. households have left to actually television behind now. And this is an article from August 2014. So clearly it's a little bit out of date, but I would say that number is rising. There's no need for it. I have Netflix now.
I wish there was a way to get away from the cable companies though.
Exactly.
Because my internet is garbage. I pay like $70 a month and I'm just mad.
What's your download?
It's supposed to be 50 down, 10 up.
Okay.
Oh, and the other raging thing about the cable companies is, do you know what the difference between a bit and a byte is?
Isn't it like 1,000 difference?
No, it's an 8 difference.
An 8 difference?
Yeah. Okay. So when you're talking about your RAM, your virtual memory, and all that stuff, like your hard drive, it's megabytes or gigabytes.
Yeah.
It's a 10, gigabyte, whatever. That's actually really small now. But except for the cable company, it's bits. And so what really pisses me off is they say megs. And then if you're like calling and talking to Time Warner, which is what I did, I heard the woman say megabytes. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? I will get 30, this is my older program, megabytes per second down? She's like, yeah. Are you serious? 30 megabytes? That's huge. That's insane.
Clearly it's a misstep on her part.
Yeah, so she's working. This is what she does for a living, and she doesn't know the difference between a bit and a byte. I bet we couldn't, but I would love to get a class action lawsuit just for false advertising.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you can do a class action lawsuit on the fact that Subway's $5 footlongs are like 11 and a half inches consistently, pretty sure we can get this done as well.
Did that go anywhere though?
I think it did. I think they won. I think they won just a bunch of gift cards, but I think they won.
Yeah.
But back to the cable thing, like I don't know. It's just there's no reason to have cable anymore except this is the big one is live sports. People, I know you and I don't watch sports. Yeah. I watch sports occasionally. I like the Cavs. I like the Browns.
How could you not watch when we were in the finals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was a very exciting time. I like watching the Browns because I usually put money on the game and we have squares at work, so I feel like I'm participating in work society.
Well, okay, but Cavs and Browns, their local sports, they're on the free channels. If you get the receiver.
3, 5, and 8. Yeah, that is true. You need that stupid little box antenna thing. But it's just like I don't even care that much. But like a lot of people do. Like for example, my sister's boyfriend is super into sports. He has cable. I don't know what he watches other besides sports, but he watches a lot of sports. So I get why you would have cable. Now, if those sports packages, I guess Fox and NBC and whatnot, if they found a way to make it like $30 a month online, cable would never exist again and everyone could be happy.
Yeah, but then we kind of get to we wouldn't really be saving any money, but at least you get only what you pay for. Like there would be a sports service. Like a Fox service that you'd have to pay for, and an ABC. So you just have a lot of subscriptions for like the subsidiaries, which I guess I don't mind. It's better than what you have now where you buy a package with 95 channels you don't watch and 2 you do.
Exactly. Yeah, you watch AMC and Comedy Central and you pay $100 a month. It also, normally they put stuff, they put like new episodes like the next day if you want to pay for them on iTunes and Amazon and everything like that. So it's like if you really want it, you pay for a quote-unquote season pass, like it's like a DLC thing, for $20. You get the whole season, and that's cheaper than you having... Because it's like, I use my parents' cable to watch Walking Dead. That's all I... Literally, I turn on my TV. I like the show. Yeah. I think it's very exciting. There is a movie that actually Jason and I... Not you, James. Another James.
Really?
Yeah. Not we watched on Netflix the other day called... Oh, God. Its original title was The Walking Deceased, but they changed the name for clearly copyright reasons, but Netflix has it as The Walking Deceased.
Yeah.
If you watch Walking Dead or those movies, it is like scary movie, but like a zombie movie. It's not, like the plot's awful, but I laughed very, very hard at a lot of things. Anyways, that's besides the point. The fact that you can just buy individual episodes now is great, and then you can usually, if you're smart enough and you know how to use Google, you can just Google streams of stuff.
Like, there's a website called couchtuner.me. If you don't know about this,
you should be aware.
Be careful. Do not click around the banner ads because they have some kind of sketchy ads, but the website itself is clean and any of the video streams are clean.
Exactly.
But the ads totally prey on those. Oh my God, I can download the video here.
Yep. And then you just put in your credit card information and you get all the seasons forever. Yeah. And it's absolutely fantastic. So yes, I do not like cable, but I love everything they're providing. And now everything's just going online. Everything's going YouTube,
Netflix. I love
Vimeo.
that Netflix is making their own shows now.
Exactly. And that's
some of them are missed, but yeah.
I would say about 20% of them are misses, and we just never hear about them.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of people who are really into it. It's like the CW. You're always gonna find someone who likes something on the CW. It's just like there's always gonna be some kind of weird market there for really weird shows. But yeah, everyone's coming to home. Like Amazon, even Yahoo just did all the community stuff. Which is like, now we don't need cable.
I appreciated that season.
I didn't see it at all.
I'm a big Community fan.
I should watch it.
It's not as good as... Well, actually, 1, 2, and 3 are like Community sweet spot.
Yes, they are.
But it's still better than
4 doesn't count because Dan Harmon wasn't there. I didn't finish 5, and I haven't seen 6.
So, I mean, it won't hit those same highs, but it's
enjoyable.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
I'll have to mark that down. But let's go back to what you're disliking this week. I'm talking too much, clearly.
No, I know. This is a good thing. Let's talk about how awesome Amazon is a little bit. Their instant streaming is a lot of overlap with
Netflix and like Hulu and stuff like that.
But I mean, I have an Amazon Prime because I do all of my shopping off of Amazon.
As do I.
And you just get that as part of Prime. It's really nice.
It's a good service. And you find a lot of... I noticed... I really like Comedy Central, and I love stand-up. They have... tons and tons of stand-up specials, Comedy Central Presents, everything on Amazon, and I'm losing my mind. Like, I will watch that over Netflix now because it's also just as easy, and it's absolutely amazing. I love Amazon.
Did you know that channel was pretty obscure before South Park? Like, South Park made that channel.
Really?
Yeah, I like, didn't know this, but... Because, we were 10 when South Park came out?
Yeah, we were like that. super young.
But, yeah, apparently, like, so I'm just used to Comedy Central always being there, but apparently it was like really small viewership until South Park came out.
Huh.
Yeah.
Goodbye on their part. I am sorry that my phone is going off. I apologize. I'm going to put this down
Blowing
here.
up. All them bitches want that, Kyle.
I didn't bring my laptop, so I decided to put all my notes on my phone, which just meant the 2 articles that I found that I barely used one.
It's definitely easier to do that.
It's so much easier. I don't want to lug a 17-inch laptop around for no good reason. But, so I had it. I need to put it on airplane mode because now I'm a podcasting adult.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough about cable. What are you not liking?
So this is going to be very controversial.
Okay. First episode. If I had an air horn sound like a DJ, that would be going off like crazy right now. Controversial topic of the week.
I don't like Chipotle. I think it's a bad company.
I'm sorry, folks, for his actions. His actions do not reflect my thoughts and opinions about Chipotle and its products. I like Chipotle. But you can continue, you monster.
So my own little personal gripe, this is the only thing I really don't like about Chipotle, is they put cilantro on everything.
Okay.
And I think it tastes like butt. And cilantro tastes horrible and overpowers everything. I mean, realistically, I think it tastes like soap, but it's so bad. And
where are you eating cilantro at?
It's in their rice.
Yeah, no, I know. But I've never had... You must go to the worst Chipotle that's run by a 1920s diner.
Like, I don't know. My parents both have. It's like this gene where cilantro
just doesn't
hits
taste
it and
good.
It tastes
it's your
bad,
palate.
but it overpowers. So that's my palate. That's not Chipotle's fault. That's cool that they're doing that for the people that like cilantro, and it's like $2 for guac. So
but
you end
also,
up with $9.
You don't have to get rice.
Yeah, I know. Well, yes, you do. It's like by weight, it is what most of all of their ingredients are. You get the bowl, you get the burrito. I think the only thing is not is tacos, right?
Just get double beans and call it a day.
But then I gotta pay for so much more, and then I got this wimpy ass little.
You don't have to pay for double beans.
Well, you're supposed to. I don't know if you just try and sneak it in so it gets down the line.
I always do double beans because I'm trying to, get that weight. But I've never had to pay for that. You pay for guac. You pay for meat.
$2. That's stupid.
Yeah, no, their guac isn't that good. I will give you that much. I do not enjoy their guac.
Plus, they're owned by McDonald's. But then I also saw... Anyways, what's really irking me about them, though, is they just recently said, we're not going to use GMOs anymore.
Okay.
It's on the windows of their shops. If you
go
in,
they have high and mighty about it.
They have a very sleek menu with like 10 things on it, which I can respect. But then one of their 4 panels is just bragging about how they don't read or don't use GMOs.
Yeah.
And when I read that sign, what I hear is, hi, we're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
We don't know anything.
Okay.
So if you're eating food, you're eating a genetically modified organism.
What? Air horn sound again.
So where do you think this shit comes from? Like, the only reason we can support, what is there, like 7 billion people on the planet now?
A local farmer who is blind and touches them with his bare hands.
Who hunts wild animals
and believes in himself and goes to bed at 6 o'clock
and kills
in the morning.
them non-violently, and I don't know.
It's great. Yeah.
But the only reason we have food products, wheat, barley, rye, they all come from the same plant, like lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower. That one's weird, but way back, all the same plant.
Really?
The only reason you can do that is because you breed things. You're like, hey, that's a really healthy apple. That's a really healthy apple. I'll take the seeds from those, and then I'll make healthier apples.
You can't see it right now, but he made 2 apples kiss.
Yes, I did.
And that's how you have sex.
Right. And have you ever seen what a wild banana looks like? It's tiny and full of seeds. No. The bananas we made are awesome and delicious.
Okay.
I actually heard the ones in the 60s were way better, but they got hit by a fungus. That's the downside of GMOs. We'll get into that another time. But this is me harping on how stupid it is that people hate GMOs. It's a buzzword, and people are like, oh, it's unhealthy for you. It's not natural. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because the only way we have any of this stuff is from genetic modification.
Okay.
But we don't do it in the lab. You do it by forcing things to have sex.
Yeah,
and
once
then
again,
have children.
things kiss.
I made
a lot of things are
kiss.
kissing in this booth, and not us, not yet, at least, depending on how his GMO talk goes.
Yeah. So it drives me crazy when people are like, it's this horrible process, it's unnatural. Well, I'm sorry, but the fact that we have domestic cows and pigs is unnatural. That we have wheat and barley that make way more sugar in their grain than they need to just make that seed grow. We bred them so they do that.
Yeah.
So
you can't kind of go back. You can't be an Indian giver on GMOs.
Right.
Okay.
So I think the easiest way to explain it is look at dogs.
I love dogs.
All dogs
there are many dogs.
Are the same species, from Pomeranian to Pit Bull to Pekingese. Why am I saying peas?
I don't know.
But yeah, like
You're popping peas.
Yeah, we're testing this
That's right.
pop filter. But all of those are the same species.
Okay.
And so It's not like someone's like, hey, I want a dog with a short snout, and then you go on and you start cutting the snouts off dogs until they're short. No. Oh. The only thing you change is the genes. Short snout, you breed those, and the ones with long snouts you just kill or let die before they have kids. And so what you're doing is you're modifying genetics there.
You're playing God. That's basically what you're telling me right now. You're playing dog God.
You are.
Okay.
And so when you do it that way, there are two kind of side effects you can get. One of them is important. It's called allotropy.
Okay.
And it's a way that genes are related in a way that's not seemingly obvious.
Okay.
So, one thing about domestic dogs is they kind of look like childish wolves all the way into adulthood. Mm-hmm. They got bigger eyes, shorter legs, fluffier tail, depending on the species and the tail. But so it turns out this lady did this experiment or started it with these foxes. She bred them for 50 years to breed for domestic foxes. And she eventually got them. They're kind of like little mid-breed, but they're really domestic foxes. They kind of behave a little bit in between dogs and cats.
Okay.
They're cool. I really want one.
Yeah.
But what happened is not only did they become more domestic, like little white paws started popping up. They got a little shorter. Their eyes got a little bigger. And so they just became more juvenile. So these traits are related in either some way you don't know. Or the other thing that can happen is like DNA actually exists as like a physical strain of information.
Okay.
And the germ cells, sperm and eggs, when those are being made, they actually line up with you get one chromosome from your dad, one from your mom, and they kind of line up, and then they switch over, they exchange things. And so that's how you get like a mix.
Oh, now I understand.
Yeah, well, but this is before the sex. This is just the sperm cell.
Gross.
So in just the sperm cell, to make 4 sperm cells, you get like 2 and 2, two from mommy, 2 from dad, and they start exchanging things.
Okay.
Then you get. I got to do the hand motions.
We're doing visual things
or I'll lose
in
my
audio
place.
podcast.
I got to do it for myself, or I'll lose my place.
He's connecting DNA. It's pretty neat.
So the point
He's good at it.
Sometimes genes are related only because they're physically close to each other on the DNA.
All right.
So just when it flips over, 99% of the time it carries this unrelated gene that has nothing in common, but it's just physically nearby in the DNA over.
Okay.
So if you want to like breed for say healthy apples. Well, let's say that's right next to the gene. This is not true, but let's say it's right next to the gene that, lets apple seeds absorb cyanide, and it brings that along.
Okay.
So eventually you keep getting healthier and healthier apples until you get a seed with the cyanide point that's like lethal. So it's just you're getting unwanted side effects because of allotropy or just really physical locality on the DNA.
Okay.
So chemical or lab-based genetic modification can be a lot more precise. You can really only impact the gene you want. So it has a lot of benefits. And you're really only doing the same thing you do by like breeding two things, but you're doing it in a lot more precise manner. So it's not perfect, and I think you can easily make mistakes with it. And if you really wanted to, you could like weaponize the flu by genetic modification. And another downside to this is Monsanto is pretty much like 99% of the world's, I don't know that actual number. I should have looked that up, but
yeah, who needs facts?
All of their actual, and they're just a really shitty company. They have really questionable morals, and there
are many Netflix documentaries on Monsanto.
Yeah. So I'm not advocating Monsanto as a company.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying GMOs are perfect, but they are as good. Like they are an awesome tool we have.
Yeah.
That we need to use to make like the C4 rice I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in a matter of speaking, it's just like the next logical step because you have that, forced breeding, which is the only reason we can sustain the amount of food we have, like the people we have with the food we have right now.
Yeah.
And just doing it in a very precise and controlled manner is the next step.
Okay.
And I don't want to rush it. And I think that information on what we did on this food should always be available. And I'm not for Monsanto's bullshit of like not labeling it as GMO. Like, hey, we did this in a lab. Here you can go online and see what we did.
Yeah.
And the tests we did.
Make me feel safer to know what I'm putting in my body.
But like, I hate this whole like organic, GMO free, like, because it feels good. I like the feel of it.
Yeah.
A lot of that is emotion, like people being gluten intolerant.
Yes.
99% of those people can't even name what the fuck gluten is.
This is true.
Like, I know someone who has celiac disease, and that sucks. You feel awful if you eat gluten.
Yeah.
And then the other 99% are just like, oh my God, I'm a pretty white girl.
It's like a weight loss kind of
I don't know
kind
what
of
it
trend.
Is. I think it's just a cry for attention.
Yeah.
Oh, I get special needs when I go to a restaurant. I know that's being so inconsiderate, but it just drives me nuts.
People could be dying on the inside. You don't even know. You don't know their story. You don't know their life.
Yeah, that is true.
So you hate Chipotle because of rice.
Well, I hate Chipotle because they're buying into this whole GMO is a dirty word thing. And they're spreading it. They're propagating it. They're like, look, hey, we're GMO free. It's healthier for you. It's amazing. Don't think about the fact our burrito has 12,000 calories. 1,200.
Yeah.
12,000.
It's a lot.
little over the top. 1,200 calories, but we're GMO free. It's good for you.
That's right. So you should eat more rice.
It's just bullshit. And so there are some food things that are important. You should antibiotic free is a big one.
Okay.
Like I think that actually has real implications because using antibiotics on animals is a sign of them living in shitty conditions where they're really sickly. Okay. It can also make them grow up quick, but it also creates antibiotic resistance. So a lot of those superbugs come from not people taking too many antibiotics, but like actually feeding it to our cattle. Huh. So that's one you should look for. I think that actually does have benefits over not, but.
So if I walk into Chipotle and I yell GMO, is it kind of like yelling bomb on an airplane?
No, because you have the minimum wage workers there that are like, I don't give a shit.
They don't care. They're stoned. They're stoned as it is. They don't.
I just
they
want
don't
a
care.
job. I went to school. I went to college for 4 years, and I'm 80 grand in debt, and here I am ladling beans onto a burrito.
That's right.
Do
you want corn or tomato or both? What do you want? The hot sauce? I don't care anymore. Guac's extra. I know guac is extra. Like, that's my gripe is that they tell me that guac is extra. I know how this works.
Oh, and the way that they say it, though, you want sour cream or guac, like it's part of the two.
Yeah,
like,
it's like a combo.
I said once, and I got my free sour cream and my $2 guac. It's bullshit. Fuck you, Chipotle.
That's just the fact that guac is $2 is hurtful, and it's not even very good. Once in a while, I'll get it. I enjoy it.
I think an avocado is like a slightly in the positive range as far as like fruits and veggies go.
Yeah.
It makes things a little better. Could I leave it? Absolutely. Who cares?
Yeah. I like putting avocado on, I don't know, like burgers and stuff like that. And just, it depends on what you do with it. But I almost never pay for guac. I just don't feel, I don't like it that much to be like, I need this to make my Chipotle experience. Because I'm just going to put a bunch of sriracha on it anyways.
No, but that's the thing, because I went to Chipotle to prepare for this. It's the first time I ate there in a while.
And how do you feel?
Like it was fine. If I didn't have the cilantro problem, I would have still been pissed about the guac because what I just said happened. Where she's like, "Do you want sour cream and
queen?"
I cannot talk to that.
It's okay. Now
do you want sour cream and guac? And I'm like, yeah. And then so I didn't realize I ended up paying $2 extra, and I can't be like, "Hey, take the guac off of this." Like
you should have made her do it. Hey lady, I don't want that guac anymore. Can you just like push it off? Just watching her use, so many visual things are happening right now. I don't mean to, but she's literally hitting it off like a cat, like in a toy, just like, no, go away, please. Oh, now I want Chipotle. Now I'm excited.
And I love Mexican food, but I have that whole hate cilantro thing.
Yeah.
So Chipotle is a company I want to like more than I do. And honestly, like this was just a vehicle to complain about.
Because they're the ones GMOs right now that are definitely at the forefront of like non-GMO. Now, when you said you went to Chipotle to do research, did you get the rice and whatnot?
Yeah, because I totally forgot about that.
And when was this? Recently?
Oh, yeah, a week or two ago.
So you had the non-GMO.
Yeah.
Is there a taste difference?
Well, like I said, I haven't had it in a long enough time. But the rack looked exactly like how I remembered it. Their three sauces looked identical.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What else would they put the non-GMOs in? It's just the rice then, right?
My guess is just the rice, maybe the meat, but I don't think they have really high-quality meat. They probably have those, like, gross-ass, held-together, like, slaughterhouse meat.
I'm sure they say it's all like locally grown and potato or whatever they say. It's like they're all about community, and I feel like that's like only slightly true in some capacity.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
they're
a big they're owned by freaking McDonald's. So keep that in mind.
I hear that they're splitting. I don't know.
Well,
I read some dumb article.
In like name only. They're trying to like dissociate themselves. Yes. But it's the same people still putting the money in the pockets.
Yeah. Isn't it like it's McDonald's, Chipotle, and isn't it like Subway too?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. They're a bunch of greedy individuals.
Yeah, if you could do it, you would.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't care. That's fine. Yeah. I only eat Chipotle. Well, I have McNuggets once in a while because I just like nuggets because they're fun and I want to die. I
don't really like McDonald's. Wendy's is my go-to of the big three. But I don't really even go to that much.
Where I live, it's just Wendy's is so... You pass 7 or 8 different places before you hit a Wendy's, and it's like a 10-minute drive. Yeah. I love Wendy's. Like a cheeseburger from Wendy's is so much better than McDonald's and Burger King, but they're so far away, and I have to really commit to the fact... Because like I'm driving by Arby's and Jimmy John's and Chipotle and
so I'm gonna be so out of date here.
Okay.
I also got Wendy's for the first time very recently.
Okay, how did that feel?
I liked it enough, but I remember I went to St. Ignatius High School.
Okay,
it's right off of West 25th here.
There's
a Wendy's across the street. The only place we were allowed to go for lunch, not on is it campus? I think it's a high school campus. Was the Wendy's across the street?
Okay,
so I loved their dollar menu. Junior bacon cheeseburger used to be $1.
Yeah,
it's like it's $1.50 now. It was $1.50. It was 40. Yeah, $1.49.
We sound like old people now.
I know.
Oh, back in my day, it was $1.
I know, but it was like awesome. I was amazed by how much food you got. So I understand it couldn't really stay at that price point forever. But
yeah.
That was disheartening. I spent $6 and I got like 3 things, and I got off what used to be the dollar menu.
Exactly. It's in like McDonald's does that now, and like Taco Bell does it once in a while. If I go to Taco Bell, there's 2 Taco Bells that I go to that are close enough. Each one has different prices for things. It's really strange. So I have to, depending on where I am, I have to decide what I really want from each of those places. And that bothers me, but that's besides the point.
That's so weird. God, I used to love the 5-layer burrito on the Taco Bell menu because it
Those
used to
were
be
fantastic.
a 99-cent thing. You get this loaded, warm,
they totally
now
screwed
it's
up.
like 90% tortilla and $1.50 or 29. I don't know the price.
The 5-layer burritos are amazing. I like there's potato soft tacos that are really really good. I just like potatoes a bunch.
Yeah, potatoes are awesome.
I recommend them. They have like. They're called Fiesta potatoes because it's always a party when you have potatoes, whether it be vodka or actual potato courses.
Potato juice.
Potato juice. Would you like for me to begin my dislike for this week?
Yeah, I think we had a good rapport going, but it's definitely lost momentum. So let's
Kyle? We kept going around, and I kept seeing it. I kept seeing us go this one direction, and then we went really left, and we came back a little bit.
All right. So Kyle, what's bothering you this week?
What's bothering me is binge watching.
Ooh,
where
are you gonna go with this?
I really, really, really dislike binge watching shows. Now, when I say binge watching, I mean destroy a season or 2 of a show in a weekend.
So that's my favorite way to watch things. So let's see why you don't like it.
I hate it so much. So, for example, Orange is the New Black season 3 just came out.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, maybe? Week and a half?
Sounds right.
I don't know. I love that show very much. My whole family likes that show very much. My mother and sister finished it in one weekend, and I finished it last week, and I don't, when I'm watching more than 3 episodes of a show at a time that is an hour-length internet program, I feel like I have to do something else, and it bothers me. I can't sit on the couch, and I can't deal with that. I have to like go fold laundry. I have to go write something. I have to and it makes. I guess it's more of a personal thing.
You know what? I'm gonna kind of agree. I'm gonna switch my answer.
Okay,
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's not even like, oh, you're not getting the whole show. No, you're getting the whole show in one weekend. But also, like, I feel like now it's become in our culture, especially with Netflix and for this new season, Orange is the New Black. I've seen a lot of Facebook posts about people who are just like, all right, there goes my weekend. Like, it's not even like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this really good show. It's like, I'm going to post first to say that I finished it first, that I had nothing to do all weekend.
I think that's a different problem, but it's so annoying too.
And it's so, just enjoy the show.
Facebook bragging.
Yeah, they're like, it's like when you get a first comment on a YouTube page. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Next episode, all baby talk.
Yeah, next episode, all Homestar Runner jokes. It's fantastic. But yeah, it's just like, you can enjoy a show, but I get it. Some people don't have time during the week at all. I have a little more time than more people during the week to finish shows and whatnot, but I can't, my body will not physically let me sit there for 6 hours and just eat food and do nothing. Like, it hurts me. I want to, and I feel like it also kind of ruins it because because if you're going to binge watch it in a day, I feel like that there's no chance that you're like thinking about what's going to happen. I really liked Breaking Bad a bunch. So my thing was watching a Breaking Bad episode and then talking for a full week.
Oh God, you can't even binge watch that show. It's so harsh. You need time to decompress.
Yeah, you just need to keep drinking.
I need a sensory deprivation chamber to like
just cool off
good.
for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like I love talking to people about the theories and like what's going on in the show. You don't get that when you binge watch because you just go 10 seconds later next, or when the Netflix says, "Do you want to keep watching?" Like that also makes you feel awful.
So I saw Jurassic World.
Okay.
Whenever.
Which I still haven't seen. Yeah. I would like to see still.
I'm not really going to spoil anything of it here, but I gotta. So you talk about the binge watching. Yeah. I think my favorite pace for something is like an episode of something a day, because I think a week is too long. But I noticed that even like one episode of an hour long, I don't really necessarily like sitting that long, especially if I can like, all right, this just got a little paint by numbers. I know it's going to happen. I want to get up and do something. Or
exactly.
In the movie theater, you can't do that.
This is true.
So
you can. You're just gonna miss everything. Yeah.
So I found out. I think this is why I'm way more critical of movies than any other form of media.
Okay.
Is because when I saw Jurassic World, there were a couple of really interesting scenes in that, but a lot of it was just so paint by numbers that I was like, and I knew it was gonna happen.
It's just like filler. They're
and then
just like waiting for the dinosaur.
I can't do anything else. So all my brain can do is think about how much I don't like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And then it just gives me a more negative outlook on the experience. So unless you're Mad Max and can keep me freaking engaged the whole time, like I'm stuck there just turning my gears, thinking about how much I don't like this. Jurassic World, you can't pick a tone. You're all over the fucking place. Are you trying to be funny?
That's just bad writing in that regard. But also, Mad Max is definitely a diamond in the rough. Is that the right phrase for that?
I don't know why that movie was so good. My buddy's like, "Hey, you want to go see it?" I expected nothing.
No,
and I was just like, "Wow, I have like a complaint, and it's why didn't Charlize Theron have a weird accent when everyone else did?"
Yeah.
Isn't she South African? Shouldn't she have an accent?
Maybe. I don't know.
Should have just let her speak normal.
Maybe she
just
traveled.
her American accent in the middle of Austria, Doomland. But that's it.
Yeah. That's everything else in the beginning and end of list. Done. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, I agree when it comes to stuff like that. Like you're paying money and you're in a location and it's like you're with a bunch of people that you don't like and you kind of want to make sure it's worth it. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I've seen when I worked at the movie theater, a lot of people would come out 20, 30 minutes into a movie and be like, "We don't like this. We would like a refund." That's good. You're making smart decisions. Don't stick it out if you don't like it. Money is.
I've never done that before because I'm usually good about not going to see movies.
Yeah.
But I saw the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
Did you walk out of that?
I wanted to, but Elise was like, "Come on, let's keep giving it Elise is my girlfriend. Elise was like, "Come on, let's give it," and it.
Wow,
regretted
she
that.
is a saint.
How
I didn't even see it, and I knew that was going to be one that you walk out on.
It's how like you just said, The Walking Deceased, and things like that. It's so bad, bland, and uninspired. You can't even sit and like have a good time watching it, like laughing at it.
Yeah, it's not even like fun bad.
It's like watching just. Actually, this would be more fun, but like an hour and a half of B-roll, just like cutting to the next.
I would like B-roll. Yeah. I like B-roll shots. They're fun
because then you can insert those like "where did the soda go" jokes of like
all those gifs and stuff. Yeah. I understand Reddit now, guys. I've joined Reddit recently, and I'm on Eat Sandwiches and Where Did the Soda Go. Yeah. That's all you need. Have you been on Eat Sandwiches?
No, I haven't.
It's literally pictures of people's sandwiches, and they tell you what's on the sandwiches. And that's all it is. It's
really awesome.
It's nice. It's a good community because all it is pictures. And where did the soda go? All gifts.
Yeah, that one's
does not matter. But
Birds with Arms is fun.
I like Birds with Arms
I like
too.
Birds with Arms so much. Yeah.
But back to my binge watching issue. Netflix is trying to stop this a little bit.
With the continue watching
By the continue watching thing, because it makes you really think about your life choices. Because I know when that pops up for me, I go, what else do I have to do today? But then again, it only goes for 3 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes, I believe. So it doesn't matter the length. So for example, I really like Cheers. And Cheers episodes.
My other buddy named Kyle is rewatching that.
Well, I need to meet. Is that your friend in Texas?
No, he's in Georgia.
Whatever, one of those states.
Yeah.
Cheers is an amazing show, and you should be watching Cheers. But each episode's only like 21 to 22 minutes long. So after 3 episodes,
so like an hour.
Yeah, it still tells you continue watching, even as opposed to Orange is the New Black, where it's like an hour.
It's 3 hours later.
Yeah. It's like, it just doesn't, it's on a weird timer like that and makes me feel really bad about myself.
On my PlayStation, so I use my PlayStation 4 as my Netflix machine.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it's fallen into.
Yeah.
My computer is so much better. But you have to then turn the controller back on and then hit OK.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
so
wow.
It's an extra
there's
step.
that second while it's flashing that's like, dude, is this really what you want to do with your life?
Don't you
can
have
turn it
anything
around
else?
now. No, don't. All right.
Yeah, okay. I guess we're going to watch a whole bunch more Frasier. It really doesn't matter. But also, the other thing Netflix is doing is, it's only for one show that I've seen that it's theirs, but it is called Between, which, don't watch it. It's not good. I can't even finish the first episode. But they're releasing it weekly, like a television program, which is a really cool idea.
I saw the little, hey, watch this thing.
Yeah, they're
for
like
that.
new episodes weekly, which is a really cool concept. But I want to watch a couple episodes at a time, especially when they're shorter. And I feel like that's like, it's good morally, I guess, but it's not going to stop anyone. It's just going to make everyone really mad because we're now in a binge watching culture. Everyone wants to see everything first and finish first. First place everything at this point. Like, I wish I can give Netflix trophies out, which my Xbox gives me achievements when I watch Netflix for too long. Also YouTube videos. So I have an achievement for watching like 50 hours of comedy YouTube videos. I don't know if that made me feel really sad, happy, or suicidal, but a little of all three.
That corpse has the biggest grin on his face with that noose around his neck.
He's been laughing 4 days as he watches the cat play the keyboard for 10 hours straight. It's amazing.
You gotta do that He-Man. Oh, what is that song?
I say, hey.
Yeah, that one.
What's going on?
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed.
That's all I know. That's literally,
What's going on?
Do you have anything else to say about binge watching? Because that's pretty much about it for me.
To a certain extent, I have this problem when shows go on forever, and especially when they take the mid-season break. I don't know what the fuck happened. And they're like, yeah,
that's
this
totally
is like
a marketing thing.
crazy intrigue.
Wait,
and
do you mean like AMC's?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Mid-season?
And then so they would reference back to something that happened in the earlier half of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why is that an interesting thing that just happened? I can't freaking remember.
They found a way to prolong a series and sell more airtime. Without screwing themselves over.
I'm not sure because it's still the same number of episodes.
This is true.
So it would be just... But I then you get the benefit of they saw that like season finales always have like the highest rating spike.
Yeah.
So now you have 2 of those.
Exactly.
And then you have 2 season premieres.
Yeah. So like that helps a bunch. Plus, they tend to, with the more popular shows like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, they tend to have shows that they know aren't going to do so well to combine with those. So they have 2 chances to get a show to pick up. So like, it's like Dead Winter Sun or something. It's on AMC. It's got Mark Strong in it. It was okay. And they had this other one called Halt and Catch Fire.
That has the dumbest name of any show.
It looks cool, but that name is awful. But it's supposed to be about computers because it has the control button.
So I've heard it was good. And there's this like quirky little show I liked a long time ago. Not super, but called Pushing Daisies.
Oh, is that with that person with the thing with the arms? I forgot the person's name. I've heard of it.
So I don't know his name either, but he was in the Hobbit movies as like the elf douchebag.
Frodo?
No, the Hobbit movies. What the fuck are you... Frodo is a Hobbit.
Sam?
Oh my God.
I don't know Lord of the Rings.
Did you see the Hobbit?
Yeah.
There's like the elf dude, but he's the main guy.
That really narrows it down.
There's the only real elf that isn't Legolas in the Hobbit is like really pristine.
Is that Mr. Smith?
He locks them up.
In The Matrix?
God.
That's him. He's an elf.
That's Lord of the Rings. That's not the Hobbit.
No, he's in the Hobbit movies, though.
Is he in the first Hobbit movie?
I think so.
I don't know.
When they're locking him up all in the cages. And
that's
then
not him.
And then like Liv Taylor is like, I like the small one. It's mine.
That's not. Those aren't those people. That's a different girl. That's Kate from Lost.
Oh, I'm confused.
Which I haven't seen. I just know other people said that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, whatever. Anyways. So that guy was in Pushing Daisies, and in that show, he's the pie maker. So that actor is the pie maker no matter what he's in. So he's in Halt and Catch Fire. I'm like, oh, it's the pie maker. I was in fucking Lord of the... you got me doing it. It's the Hobbit. It's the pie maker. Fucking... God.
I'm so sorry.
You don't know anything.
I don't. I don't know Lord of the Rings. I have seen all of them, have no idea what's going on. So, and I do it. My grandmother loves the Hobbit movies, so it's our thing to go see these movies. And I love her to death, and I will...
They were so boring.
They were boring. She loved them. I liked them because we went to that good theater with the reclining seats. So we had a great time. It was a good, grandson grandma moment. So, but yeah, I have no idea what any of those people's names are. I give them all nicknames.
I don't know his goddamn name
It's
either.
like Game of Thrones. It's like Dragon Girl and One Arm Dude and Sadness Man.
Speaking of like controversial opinions on here, I read the Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah,
the movies are the way to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Because those movies are boring.
Oh, I liked them enough. They're not my favorite, but oh my god, the books read like a goddamn textbook. I think the lore is interesting. I would rather just sit and read the Wikipedia page. Like, oh my god.
So at least you can click onto something else that has something to kind of do with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, just like read about the wizards. Like, I had more fun reading the damn Wikipedia entry about the wizards than I did freaking Lord of the Rings. They're like not humans. They're
rings. That's why. I did actually.
Purposely obtuse.
I did read the third book. I don't know what it's called. We Three Kings.
Hey, the king's back.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I read that when I was in 6th grade and did not realize it was a third book. And on top of that, they made us. So we had to pick a book. We had to read it. We had to take a test on it. So, because of that, I don't know what's going on in this book, and I was just reading it just to read something, and they wouldn't let you switch a book, because they're like, you have to finish what you start. It's a really dumb model. So, I failed this test.
I started something wrong
6 times until I figured out that, one, it was the third book, because I think I asked the teacher, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
Too, right?
Yeah, it's 6th grade, 2000, no.
Oh, you're a little younger than me, though.
A little bit. I think it was like 2001, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, it's just I had to take it 6 times, and then the 6th time I only passed it because I learned another valuable skill. Not Spark Notes, but the fact that the questions were the same, just in different order, and I was just remembering the answers to the questions because they gave me the answer at the end of it. That's how I passed a lot of things.
So you did it that way, and it took you 6 times?
I was in 6th grade. I didn't understand the pattern until the 5th time.
Okay.
And then I failed it again. And then the 6th time I understood it and we moved on with my life. And I picked how to give a mouse a cookie or something shit like that. I don't fucking know.
So in my senior year of college, undergraduate.
Yeah.
They let us. This feels so juvenile, but it was my English class. I actually have an English minor, so it was a higher level English class. It wasn't.
I do. Why is going on with my brain today?
Nothing. It's a problem.
Perfect.
So they let us pick our own books, and we broke into groups. And I'm like, this feels so juvenile.
Yeah.
So I don't know how. So the first time I picked, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. It's this guy who used to study kids with autism. It's a very interesting book about this kid with autism, but it's written for like a 6th grade level.
How did that get lumped in
So that got by. Next time,
yeah,
same thing, same group. They let me pick again. I picked The Giver. It was okay with my college class. I read The Giver for college.
Oh no! Why?
Why did my teacher okay that? I don't know. I'm like,
because your teacher did not care.
The Giver. Some people come up with these like really elaborate books, like freaking Crime and Punishment. I'm like, I have The Giver. There's by Lois Lord.
An Ernest Hemingway book, and a bunch of Mark Twain novels, and you're like, I got The Giver.
We had the biggest group too for some reason. Most were 4, but we had like the odds. We had 7.
Yeah,
it's just 7 people up here talking about The Giver.
How long can you talk about a kid going down the hill and then it ending?
Oh, you can pull shit out of. The red. The concept of the red is because it's the color of passion and the red geranium and.
I guess also I recently found out. I guess in the last couple of years is that there are like several Giver books.
I did not know that.
And there's also I think there's like 3 main books, and then there are side stories within the universe.
It's like freaking Ender's Game shit here.
Yeah, exactly. I hit the mic. I apologize. I believe there's like 5 books total, I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care that much. But yeah, I think there's like 3 main and then 2 side missions of books. And I'm like, I had no idea. And someone brought them to me. I'm like, this can't be real. It can't. There's no way you can get more stories out of The Giver. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's enough for book talk for today, or Plucking Petals, or let's go with Plucking Petals.
Yes. I think that's appropriate.
James, do you have any plugs? Do you know what plugs are?
Yes.
Are you a plug? Am I a plug? Is life a plug?
I'm not trying to sell anything.
Okay.
If you buy Platform Beer, they might be able to give me a full-time job sooner.
So if you are in the Cleveland area, or maybe in Ohio, is it anywhere out of Ohio?
They're distributing our New Cleveland Pilsner, which is like a pale ale, in cans. And then starting this weekend, we're canning our IPA. It's called Speed Merchant.
Okay.
And it should be, 45 minutes in every direction from Cleveland in grocery stores.
Okay, so if you are in Northeast Ohio, please buy a bunch of Platform Brewery
Or don't.
beer.
I really don't care.
Well, you should buy some. Buy
Yeah.
6-pack. If you don't like it, they got the money, and James can keep having a job, and we'd all be very, very happy.
Yeah, let's do that.
Plugs for me, I guess, look up Mayor Wertz on pretty much any social media, and I will be there either telling jokes or being sad. So yeah, Mayor Wertz. Once again, this has been Plucking Petals. I am Kyle.
I'm James.
Have a good evening.
Thanks.